I'm not surprised.
I've spent a lot of time, Joe, slating everybody in the company. Backstage, I'm starting fights off everybody. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I work for, I'm gonna fight your You know what's the real fight, what's the real money fight is me, not these clowns that you already punked at the press conference. Don't no one want to see that, you know you beat them already. That's the easy fight. You want that real shit right here. Hey, and I'm not...
Unfortunately, we can't talk like that on Fox.
In the world of mixed martial arts, rivalries are born, but few have ignited the passion of fans like the epic feud between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. This rivalry went beyond the typical competitive spirit seen in mixed martial arts and reached a level of personal animosity and fierce competition that captivated fans worldwide. Both Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor are known for their strong personalities and willingness to engage in trash talk, which added fuel to the rivalry.
You guys, how close are you guys to each other right now? Like, could you reach out and swing at each other right now, Conor?
No, he's hiding somewhere. I don't know where the you still gotta walk.
We'll see. We'll see. See, come and see what happens.
Yeah, right.
I told you I'll put a hole in your face.
Yeah, right.
You'll be breathing out of your rest of your life.
Yeah, right.
Parting shots. Loves to make predictions about his fights. Nate, do you have a prediction for Saturday?
No, I don't. He don't believe his prediction.
I believe I'm gonna bounce your head off the canvas.
You don't believe it?
Quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5.
10.
Oh,
Count to 5, Nate, will you, if you can?
You can't.
Hurry up with that coffee.
I ain't counting. How about
and
that?
hurry up with that coffee.
It wasn't just a battle of punches and kicks. It was a war of words, a clash of personalities, and an uncompromising quest for dominance. Their first meeting at UFC 196 was a roller coaster of drama, where the unthinkable became reality. The then undefeated in the UFC and featherweight champion of the world lost for the first time in his UFC's career, in a fight that is considered by many as one of the greatest upsets in MMA's history. The rematch at UFC 202 was an all-out war, a battle of wills that went the distance. McGregor emerged victorious, but Diaz's toughness was undeniable, and this fight is arguably one of the most exciting fights of all time. Beyond the octagon, it was a story of warriors who could despise each other one moment and respect each other's tenacity the next. Buckle up, as we journey through the Diaz vs. McGregor rivalry, one of the most memorable, heated, and talked about rivalries in the history of mixed martial arts. In the beginning of 2016, the UFC announced that for the first time of its history, two current champions from different categories will be facing each other, and the bout would be between the newly featherweight champion Conor McGregor and the lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos. However, a few weeks before the fight, it was announced that the Brazilian could no longer fight due to a leg injury, and Conor had no partner for a dance, and a lot of fighters refused to fight Conor, claiming to not have enough time for a proper camp. A few months before the fight between the Conor and RDA got announced, the Irishman had already been called out by Nate Diaz, when Diaz called out Conor in December 2015, right after beating Michael Johnson. McGregor had no opponent available at that time, and he didn't care who he was going to fight or what weight class the fight would be taking place. He just wanted to fight, and Diaz, who had previously called him out, accepted the fight on 11 days' notice, and it was confirmed that the bout between them would be taking place at UFC 196 in March 5, 2016 at MGM Garden Arena, Las Vegas. And the world held its breath when the featherweight champion dared to enter the welterweight territory. What followed was a whirlwind of promotion, media appearances, and intense verbal exchanges. McGregor, with his gift of the gab, went on a verbal rampage, predicting victory and ridiculing his opponent like only he could. Diaz, true to his authentic self, responded with his characteristic nonchalance and biting remarks, creating an atmosphere of tension and anticipation that was palpable. The press conferences leading up to the fight became events in themselves, The fighters' words were like sparks igniting a fire, each soundbite adding fuel to the flames of rivalry. The almost brawl incident during a face-off only intensified the anticipation, showing that Diaz was unafraid to engage in the psychological warfare that was rapidly becoming a hallmark of the matchup. As fight night drew near, fans were wondering, could McGregor, the featherweight champion, overcome the size inferiority and defeat a larger opponent on short notice? And could Diaz weather the storm of McGregor's striking and impose his will? On March 5, 2016, the night of reckoning arrived. The fighters stepped into the octagon, carrying the weight of expectations and the anticipation of fans worldwide. The fight itself was a collision of contrasting styles. McGregor, renowned for his striking precision and knockout power, faced Diaz, whose toughness and jiu-jitsu expertise were his trademarks. The first round saw McGregor display his striking superiority, landing clean shots and staggering Diaz. But the larger Diaz weathered the storm and began to find his rhythm in the second, in a shocking turn of events. Diaz connected with a crisp 1-2 combination that rocked McGregor, forcing him to retreat. Diaz seized the moment, taking the fight to the ground and locking in a rear naked choke that forced McGregor to tap, in one of the biggest upsets in MMA's history. The outcome stunned the MMA world. McGregor's aura of invincibility was shattered, and Diaz's triumph underscored the unpredictable nature of the sport. Despite the fierce rivalry leading up to the bout, the post-fight moments were marked by mutual respect and admiration, highlighting the camaraderie shared by two warriors who had left everything in the cage. Their first fight was epic. They showcased unpredictability, resilience, and the electrifying moments that make this sport so captivating. The battle between Diaz and McGregor transcended the cage, etching their names into the history of MMA as two warriors who gave everything for the love of combat. But it wasn't over. There was still a second chapter to come. Their rematch was set to take place at UFC 202 in August 20, 2016. Their first encounter had left fans astounded, as Nate Diaz submitted Conor McGregor in a shocking turn of events. The aura of invincibility that had surrounded McGregor was shattered, since Nate gave him his first loss in the UFC, leaving a thirst for redemption that burned intensely in the heart of the Irish fighter. For Conor, the rematch wasn't just about reclaiming lost glory, it was about pride, redemption, and proving who truly reigned supreme. The months leading up to UFC 202 were marked by a media storm.
What's your thoughts on this rematch?
He should have killed me when he had the chance, cause now I'm back and I'm gonna kill you and your whole team. You and them kids.
I'm here with Nate Diaz, ladies and gentlemen. Nate, give us your thoughts on this fight and what this rematch means to you.
I tried always hard to kill. He already dead from the last time. It's a new guy. So the killer can't be killed again. USA, motherfucker.
Nate Diaz, ladies and gentlemen.
As both fighters engaged in an even more intense verbal warfare than before, McGregor's trademark charisma was on full display, while Diaz's authenticity and don't give a F attitude remained as captivating as ever. The press conferences leading up to the fight were again very electric. Diaz and McGregor traded verbal jabs, recounting the first encounter and predicting the outcome of the rematch. McGregor was unapologetically confident, vowing to avenge his loss, while Diaz remained steadfast, expressing his belief that lightning could strike twice. The pressure was higher for Conor. For the Irish, this rematch wasn't just about another victory on his record, it was about restoring his reputation and proving that he could conquer Diaz's challenge. And for the American, it was about solidifying his status as the true nemesis of McGregor and asserting his dominance once again. The anticipation grew as fight night drew closer, with both fighters promising an epic battle that would leave an indelible mark. On August 20, 2016, the fighters stepped into the octagon at UFC 202, ready to settle the score in one of the most anticipated rematches in MMA history. What followed was a 5-round war that encapsulated the essence of the sport. McGregor showcased improved cardio and precision striking, while Diaz demonstrated his trademark resilience and durability. In the first round, Conor almost knocked out Diaz, but Nate managed to survive the first round. In the first seconds of the second round, Conor once again dropped Diaz to the ground. The American got beat up pretty bad, but once again he survived another round against Conor, proving to be one of the most resilient fighters in MMA's history. After the two initial rounds, it seemed that the fight was going to be easy for the Irishman, and that it was just a matter of time until he gets the finish. But Diaz came very strong in the third round and landed twice more significant strikes than Conor. The fourth round Conor did better, and in the fifth round Diaz did better. The judges' scorecards reflected the intensity of the contest, as McGregor secured a majority decision victory in a closely contested battle that could have swung either way. The rematch lived up to the hype, and this rematch is considered by many as the best fight of that year. Conor McGregor's victory over Nate Diaz at UFC 202 was not only a pivotal moment in his career but also a fight of significant impact in the world of mixed martial arts. This victory carried immense weight for several reasons, such as his technical evolution, since demonstrated in the rematch his adaptability and growth as a fighter. He made adjustments to his game plan, focusing on pacing himself and conserving energy. This showcased his strategic thinking and willingness to learn from his mistakes. His legacy and mindset condition. The victory over Diaz at UFC 202 represented a redemption story for McGregor. After suffering his first UFC loss to Diaz just months earlier, McGregor had a lot to prove. His ability to bounce back and secure a win against the same opponent showcased his resilience and solidified his legacy as a fighter who could overcome adversity. And also a massive pay-per-view numbers. Pay-per-view-wise, the Irish is without a doubt the best at promoting and hyping a fight, and UFC 202 was at that time the biggest pay-per-view in the history of MMA. Their rivalry started in a very unexpected way, with RDA pulling out of the fight due to injury, and Diaz stepping in with 11 days' notice to fight the biggest star in MMA's history, and pulling off an upset win. They showcased exciting fights, insane trash-talkings, upsets, and redemption, and is probably the most heated rivalry ever in the UFC. In the end, the Conor McGregor vs Nate Diaz rivalry was an epic tale that spanned across weight classes, personalities, and continents. Their clashes captured the essence of the fighter's spirit, captivating audiences and leaving an indelible mark on the sport they both loved. The trash talk, press conferences, and face-offs leading up to their fights generated countless memorable moments that became cultural touchpoints. Catchphrases, soundbites, and iconic visuals from the rivalry continue to be referenced in the MMA community and beyond. After the intense rivalry with Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz's career took several interesting turns. Continued to compete at a high level in the UFC, he faced various opponents, including high-profile matchups. He also adopted a more selective approach to his fights, choosing matchups that piqued his interest or provided significant opportunities. While he remained active, he focused on fights that aligned with his goals and legacy. And one of the most memorable post-McGregor rivalry moments was his rivalry with Jorge Masvidal for the BMF belt. At UFC 244, Diaz alongside Masvidal inaugurated this belt, and Conor, after his second fight against Diaz, he achieved a historic feat by becoming the first fighter in UFC history to hold titles in two weight classes simultaneously. He defeated Eddie Alvarez to claim the lightweight title at UFC 205, further solidifying his status as a transcendent star in the sport. And he also had a temporary retirement in 2019. McGregor announced his retirement from MMA, a move that surprised fans and the MMA community. However, he returned to the octagon in 2020 to face Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone at UFC 246, winning the fight via a quick knockout. Outside the UFC, McGregor continued to make headlines. He ventured into various business opportunities, including launching his own whiskey brand, Proper No 12. In 2017, he also crossed over to boxing for a highly anticipated bout against Floyd Mayweather Jr., showcasing his marketability and drawing significant attention, and becoming even more famous. But maybe this rivalry isn't over yet. Discussions about a potential third fight between Diaz and McGregor continue to surface, given the historical significance of their clashes and the enduring interest among fans. A potential third fight between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor is a tantalizing prospect that has fight fans buzzing with excitement. The history, the rivalry, and the legacy at stake make this potential clash a must-watch event. While nothing is confirmed yet, the anticipation surrounding a Diaz-McGregor trilogy ensures that if and when it happens, it will be nothing short of legendary in the world of mixed martial arts. MMA fans around the world will be eagerly awaiting the official announcement, hoping to witness the culmination of one of the sport's greatest rivalries. And that is it, folks. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. See you guys next time. Thanks and out.